Hey, AfterBuzzers. We're here, AfterBuzz American Crime Season 3, Episode 4, and we have a special treat for you, so hang out with us, 7 o'clock.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Jaye Green.
I've never heard this, so let me get into it.
It just makes me want to like
Isn't it great?
shimmy a little.
Mami, con tu body, este party, eso safari. Todo miran como hoy tú andas con un animal. Mami, mami, con tu body, este party, eso safari.
Wait, so French and
We're
Spanish?
going to let
Yes.
it play a little bit for our guests.
Right.
We're going to jump right into the episode because we're running a little behind time, but this is American Crime Season 3, Episode 4. We're going to jump right into it because we have a special guest for you today.
Yes, we do. Yes,
and
we
we're
do.
going to get into that a little bit later. So y'all have to stay around and hang out with us. And I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can find me on all social media, Erica Jaye Green. And I'm joined by...
Hey guys, you can find me, Joshua Johnson, on all social media at JJ the Talented, and also on my website, joshuajohnson.tv. Yes, I'm going to plug everything that I'm a part of. You can catch me on Mondays and Thursdays, AfterBuzz at VHL.
I was waiting for
Hey,
it.
look, Thursday you can catch me on Sports Weekly.
Hey, I'm Ryann Graham. I have significantly less things. You can find me on Twitter at Ryan with 2 N's Graham and on Instagram at Instagram. We have a very special guest in the house tonight.
Bonjour, hola, ¿cómo está?
The double linguistics.
You're going to have to
I
say
know.
your name for us like
Okay.
100 times tonight.
Okay, ready, America? Mickaëlle X Bizet.
Mickaëlle X Bizet.
Mickaëlle.
Mickaëlle X.
I feel like you have to say that with a
What'd
little
you
bit.
get?
Mickaëlle
X
X.
Bizet.
I love it. I'm so here for it. I love
Just
it.
FYI, she taught me the correct pronunciation for the word crepe, which we say crepe in English, but it's
Crêpe.
Des crêpes.
Des crêpes.
Des crêpes.
Look at us getting French lessons. We're so cultured up here. Okay,
Thank you,
AfterBuzz.
American Crime.
Speaking French and Spanish on American Crime. How
That's
about that?
right. That's right.
So we have a guest. We're going to get to know you more later, and we want to hear like any of your thoughts throughout the show when we're talking about it today, because we're always just like, why did they do this?
Right.
And what's going to happen next? And I know you can't tell us some stuff, but whatever
No, you can. You can.
What? Oh,
We all try to
You're not gonna leave until you do.
John Ridley will kill me.
So we ended with the last episode ending with Coy getting beat up by Isaac, and that's how it ended. And now in this episode, we're kind of seeing that. To me, I'm going to go ahead and say this because we're going to jump right into Isaac's character since, you know, he did his demise and kind of demise in this episode. But his intentions to me weren't as great as we thought that they were. From flashbacks of other beatings and other things that he's done and, you know, killings that we're now seeing come to light.
Right.
And we had all speculated that maybe he had like this little bit of a golden heart before, but now we're seeing that's not so true. I see you want to say
I
something.
know, and I do. I think, I mean, I guess, like, watching Isaac's character, it made me feel like he, yes, did bad things, but I feel like it was, there's the theme of the show is trying to survive, of this season specifically, is trying to survive, and I feel like it was his act to try to survive in his role, and I'm not saying what he did was right, because he was wrong. He was wrong on so many levels, but I feel like when he was doing it, it was more of him trying to navigate being bullied by someone else, and I feel like there's always someone else oppressing down, and it's like that trickle-down effect, and it's like someone was pushing on the managers of the farms next, so then they pushed down on, like, Isaac and Diego, and then Diego pushed down on Isaac, and then so Isaac pushed down on other people, and it's just like a cycle of pushing down, and I feel bad for Isaac.
I feel bad for Isaac too.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Because when I see Isaac, I'm like, he
what?
looks like a little boy who's trying to please his big brother or something. You know what I mean? I feel so bad. And then the way Richard Cabral is playing him is
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean, he's phenomenal.
pulling
yes.
up our heartstrings. Like, no, I love Isaac.
I do too.
But I still.
I mean, love.
Yeah.
I didn't understand unless I missed it. Tell me if I missed it. Still, his intentions toward Coy. It just. Why him? Why did he pick him?
And see, I took it from whenever he said, see, in the beginning, you laughed whenever I told you about picking tomatoes. To me, I hensed a little bit of jealousy. See, I did mention in the last episode, that he was kind of intrigued with Coy. There was that type of intrigue. This was a white boy who was kind of like, you know, had his life on a silver spoon from what I can see, because he's just let his life go out of control with the whole dying game and everything that he's into right now. It's kind of, you know, that on the other side And that's how I kind of saw it from the beginning, was that he was just intrigued with him and wanted to get to know more about him, just to see insight into his life. Not so much of, oh, I want to be friends with him. Then he said that comment saying, well, you were laughing whenever I told you about picking tomatoes. Now look at you. So to me, I kind of took it all like, okay, maybe he wasn't too like love friendship, I don't know, boy bromance with him.
See, I guess I feel like he's still, like, he wanted to help someone else because I feel like someone helped Isaac. Like, I feel like Isaac has, like, picked himself up and made something of himself. And so I feel like he saw someone who was down and was like, I want to help this person.
So that's
like,
what I thought.
It's
like he had a little soft spot.
Yeah, and I still feel like that
Coy.
exists. I just think that the pressure of Diego and wanting to impress Diego overcame him. And then he was like, all right, but at the end of the day, I've known Diego longer. I don't want Diego to then punk me, so I have to like I guess the bully is like I have to bully or be bullied.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
peer
think
pressure.
I don't think he's trying to impress him. I think he just doesn't want to get his ass kicked.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean by impressed. It's like I'm trying to survive.
He's trying to
and
survive.
If I don't do this, Diego is going to kill me.
But to the extent that you take someone else's life, because how do you tie in his so-called affection with Coy to how he treated Teo? Why would you beat another boy senseless to death?
The same
Just
situation.
because he
Yeah, I
made
think it was
people
a
laugh.
probably
I think
a
it was a
repeat thing.
parallel situation where what was the guy?
Teo.
Diego was
Yeah.
upset that Teo was doing all the talking and laughing with the girl, and then he had, I guess Isaac was the one that had to show him, or beat him
Yeah,
up.
like, I think it all stems from Diego's pressure on Isaac.
I hear what y'all say, but that doesn't negate. I don't have love lost for Isaac now that he's dead because he was doing what he was told. No, that doesn't help your situation.
Well, I didn't feel bad
would
when he
kill
got
someone.
killed, though.
No, I think it was justified. I think Luis killing.
I would never say that. I would never say killing is
No, I do
justified,
because
but-
when Luis did it, I was like, I understand.
Yeah.
But especially the way that it happened, because it was like, what else could Luis do? Because it was like
Right.
he couldn't go to the justice system and do anything. They
Right.
weren't gonna do.
Exactly.
And the way they had that book of just like bodies, it was like this happens all the time. These are nameless, faceless people.
Yeah, and Diego
it
said
doesn't
it.
matter.
You know,
Yeah.
people die on this farm all the time,
Doesn't
and
matter.
nobody
Yeah,
cares.
Nobody
Exactly.
cares.
And so I think that Luis, it was like, this is the only way to get justice for my son. And like, I get it. Like, I hate that that's what it is, but like, legitimately, what else could Luis have done?
Can I interject something really quick on the note about just this happens all the time, nobody cares? I feel like there was a theme throughout this episode where this line was mentioned several times, tell me about Teo, tell me about Teo, tell me about Teo, in several different scenes. And to me that seemed like it was a way to humanize his story. And
The name.
say the name and kind
Tell.
of humanize him
Yeah.
because these stories are untold. These things happen all the time where they get killed, nobody cares. Tell me about Teo. This is a life.
God, yes.
It is.
This, he had a life. He had a family. And the guy asked, like Louis asked, have you ever had a family? Do you have a family?
Yeah.
Right.
So it was a way, I think, to kind of over and over really drill the point home, like this is a story to this life.
It's bringing back. It's bringing me back to every time that Benito Martinez says, "Es mi hijo." Es mi hijo. He's my son. He's my son. Like every time I want to cry. Like I get goosebumps. Look,
I know, I see them on my.
There's a weight to it. There's
He's
a
a
story behind it.
person. He
He's
has a
person.
family. All those people on those farms dying all the time, being mistreated and exploited.
Right.
Even the people like Shay, being mistreated and exploited. They have family. They're people. They're somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's brother, sister, cousin.
Right.
They're not just like those ideas over there. People being exploited.
A face
no, it's
on
for
the
real.
news. It's
yeah.
for real.
It's
Yeah.
real people with real lives.
Yeah.
And
And I just love it because it kind of like hints at like some of the, like not just like migrant workers who are killed and are affected by this, but like just some of the like people who are like affected by police brutality and stuff. Just like when they like say their name, it's it's all cumbersome of that where it's like people who do have things happen to them are people, and I think that people need to understand it and open their eyes to that because I think a lot of times when you see someone who's not the same color as you. You think, oh, that's someone else. That's someone else's problem. This is not us.
Another neighborhood.
Right,
Yeah.
not me.
Country.
And I think saying someone's name, knowing their story is very important because it helps you go, oh, I may not know Teo, but I know Johnny, and Johnny and Teo are just alike. And then it makes you feel like that's a person I know. Does that make sense?
And I think they did that with like giving us the little backstories and the little clips of showing how Teo grew up and how he was just such a happy boy, and it made you even feel even more sad for the predicament that he was in because he went over there originally just to take care of his family, just to send money back, which is common. That's common that people will come from different countries to come over here to make a better living for their families and send that money back. So since we're talking about Louise, let's go ahead and talk about Coy because at the before Louise goes and commits this horrible crime, which some would say was justified as far as a father's love for a son and revenge. So I guess we'll say, but he tells Louise tells Coy to first text message
Isaac.
Isaac to have him come so he can set him up, I guess. And I'm sure Coy knew what was going on. But he also tells him, why are you here? You don't have to be here. Why don't you just leave? And I think, was that like the first time Coy like had a aha moment? Like yeah, maybe I could
I can just walk out of here.
Why does he just walk away?
I was like, why is this like, we'll get to that, but I just want to know what were y'all thoughts during that whole...
I agree. It was very weird 'cause it was like, Coy, you, and especially in this realm, you have all of the privilege. Like, you are a white guy. Like, you, like, and even like in the scene when they showed him like trying to overdose, like, because it was a match shot of Louise laying on the ground, and you saw his face dying, and you saw Coy die, but you saw him being revived. I think that's just kind of like an allegory for like reality when so many people of color are going through situations where it's hard, but there's someone who's white might be going through something different or like in another way being affected, but someone's always there to pick them up and save them. I feel like white people, and I mean, I'm not saying that it's a negative thing, that's just the way society is. But I mean,
Twitter was talking about that. Twitter was talking about, oh, okay, white boy get overdose and then he gets, revived. What about us?
Because of course he does. Like, and I think that
And Isaac brought that up,
Yeah, and I feel like with Coy, I think when you have that type of privilege, you probably come from a background of people telling you what to do, and so for the first time it was like, make a decision, do something for you other than wasting your life.
Right.
He goes, oh, I guess I can leave. I don't think it ever crossed his mind once because no one was telling him to do it.
He was trying to pay the money back and all that. I don't know
why.
Why? Who cares?
They're exploiting you.
I want to talk about that too, because I appreciate American Crime showing us that, because that's kind of the system that we live in now. Just like student loans, they trap you, go to school, go to college, get this, you need this education to get a job when you get out. I got one. The only thing I'm getting right now is blown up on my phone and stress. And it's like literally, it's like being in a gerbil cage and you're on
Like
the
the
wheel
ride
and you're
wheel.
going
You're
around
never
and
going
around. You
anywhere.
can't get out. And so during that situation with Coy, it was like, well, you owe $384. Okay, well, I can maybe come up with that. Oh, well, now you need medical attention. We're gonna add.
Give him extra
insurance
bills.
is about $1,000 a month.
got
But
it.
we'll take that out of your
It
check.
is just like life. It is.
Exactly.
It is. Yeah.
So he kind of felt, I can see how, because we're always against Coy because he's the white boy, but I can see how he felt trapped. Exactly. He didn't have his family to go back to.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but you know.
He
family-
probably
And at the
exhausted.
end, when
Of
he's
that
like,
shit.
Those pockets
can
way
you call
back.
my
Call my family,
family? I
yeah.
was like, oh my God, he still wants to call
Even after
them.
that, he still wanted them to have
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking, and I'm so glad that they showed that, because that was something that we could definitely
Relate
see
to?
ourselves, in Coy's situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we're all slaves in some way, especially to the system, whether it's the
Everlasting.
economic system, justice system, whatever, political system. We try to get out of it, but it's kind of almost designed to keep us enslaved.
Yeah. Totally.
Bingo.
Girl, you just like, that was so brilliant. No, for real, that was real
I
brilliant.
was it's saddening.
It is the way the
when
society
you
is
think
designed
about
and
it.
set up right now. It's sad. And then our minds, even in like, relationships, it's almost we do that too. Like you feel enslaved and you're like, no, I can't get out
can't go
because
there.
this,
Yes,
because
yes.
that,
And especially when
I
you
still
involve-
have to do this. I have kids.
Yeah, but
I
the
have
kids are like, you involve all the extra stuff, and it's like, oh, but what will the family say? What will what will people say? And it's just like,
Right. It's like psychological, monetary, like you owe
Yeah,
psychologically,
constantly.
basically. It's
Yeah.
not money, but you owe psychologically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mental slavery.
Yes.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
curious to where Coy goes from here, though, because I feel like after this, it's like, where do you go next? And part of me feels like the way the show usually each season, people are very connected,
Had an
and I'm going to predictions. Never mind. I'll say it.
go hold
I will say it.
predictions?
I
Hey,
will
we can do whatever we want. We're
That is
American
true.
Crime
I can do
AFTERBUZZ.
I almost
After
messed
show.
up.
Oh, you was gonna score? You was gonna tell
I
us?
should have done it. I should have done it.
Were you about to tell us?
We won't try to do that to you.
Because I don't know. Because I'm now I'm kind of like, Coy, go away. That's where he should go.
Oh, no.
Because like his storyline, it just seemed
It seems that way.
it almost seemed. I think you were trying to intimate this last week. It just kind of seems pointless. I would have rather Louise's storyline carried out a bit more, and I hope it does in some way. But it
that's
just
so
seems
odd,
like,
yeah.
wow, you're just gonna cut it right there when you could have spent the whole season kind of getting us more involved in finding Teo, but now Teo's gone,
Yeah.
and that's it.
this show.
Oh, okay. Look at that
I
smile
know.
on her face.
No, that's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
okay.
And this
Maybe
makes me
Taylor's
feel
not
I don't
like
I don't
this
feel
makes
like
me feel like
Maybe
my
Taylor's
theory
not
is
gonna-
right.
However, I did see on IMDb, which is my source for everything, that 5 episodes is credited to the actor who played Teo. So I don't know if we exhausted 5 episodes. yet.
However, on IMDb,
So-
okay, there's 10 episodes listed. There's only 8.
Yeah,
So
we're
you-
about
Some
halfway
like don't
point.
believe
We're-
the
yeah,
hype.
No, don't
the
believe the
IMDb.
hype.
They
There's
said
only
Sandra
8.
Oh was only around for 1, and we haven't seen
Oh,
her.
yeah.
It's-
No, she was in more than one, wasn't
No.
she?
She's only so far. She's only
Oh,
been.
only-
Oh well. There we go.
well, let's keep it coming. Give us some alcohol.
She
Give us
was
some
only-
alcohol.
I know, right? Let's
Blame it on the alcohol.
Not wrong,
By the
not
way, Josh,
wrong.
can we get the live chat up just in case
Oh,
we have
yeah,
any
some-
comments or questions?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now I'm excited to get predictions because
Yeah, we gonna get something out of her. No, so let's talk about Shay's character because y'all know I wasn't a big fan of Shay.
Are you
I'm
now?
loving the girl a little bit now.
Oh,
She's having a
interesting.
mind of her own. I'm so very proud. I had a proud moment. I was like, okay.
I know exactly
She
what
said
scene
no.
you were talking about,
She
too.
said no.
To what?
To the guy asking her something.
yeah.
I mean, it seems simple.
Wait, which part? Which part?
Oh,
Which
that
part?
part.
The part where the guy asked her to go with him and take pictures, and that seems really
Oh,
simple.
yes.
It seems simple,
Yes.
but to me that was like a big moment for Shay because it was like she was finding herself, and for women that's big.
Oh, I feel
when we
that.
start
Yeah.
to find ourselves, that it means a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Watch
whether-
out.
Yeah.
when we know ourselves, watch out.
I
So-
thought he was trying to get her to take some naked pictures, really. I
No,
don't
that's
know.
what he was trying to do,
was
but
that what
she
he was
said
trying-
no. But
Oh, okay,
And
so
that's
I-
what I was saying.
See,
the
people
problem.
on Twitter were talking all that too. You
I
think
can
that's what
gather
he was
from
trying
that.
to do?
I feel like he was just being a boy, being like, "Oh, let's go hang." I guess my.
That's what I thought. That's
I'm
what I
so
thought.
naive. I'm
But
so
he gave me a creepy
That's
vibe.
what I thought
Ew.
too. And you know, I did not read the other people's storylines. So when I watched the season, I was just discovering everything. You know
So
what
you're
I mean?
you're realizing it organically as it's happening.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow, that's
yeah.
awesome. That's
Because
really
what happens is that we'll talk later about that.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
while we're talking about Shay, something that was really important that really stuck out to me was the fact that she had to get consent from her family members, which she doesn't live with, and she let them know that she doesn't even communicate with them.
Yeah.
But they still were like relentless on making her get consent from them to have an abortion. Laws in North Carolina are different
Yeah.
from where she came from Washington. She said she had an
DC,
abortion, and that was something that I guess they're a little bit more lax with the rules and regulations. And that's how it is all over the United States. The laws are different, and it does affect a woman's body. So what do y'all think about the way how they're dealing with this issue with having Shay, having
double
Shay
live.
not being able to get an abortion until she contacts her parents and going through so many hurdles because we all know that if teens want to do something, they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's how you have all of these like Mexico trips going on and bad things happening to young girls trying to take care of these issues on their own
Right.
when they're coming to adults and parents and stuff and they're saying, this is what I need help with. So I just want to know y'all's thoughts because I know we've talked about the abortion and rights for women and it's a really skewed lines, but I just want to know what y'all thought about this episode with Shay.
I think specifically with this because the laws in North Carolina are very strict when it comes to abortion laws and stuff, or when it comes to abortion laws, and I feel like it makes me wish we did have a national like consensus
Something
on
at
it
the federal level?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I feel like with the way our current administration is, it wouldn't go the way I feel it would be, and so that's why I'm like I'm glad that it's not that way because I feel like it would just be way worse. I do feel that if you are a young lady who wants to take control of your life in like in any type of direction, honestly, you should have that right. And then especially like because like the judge said, you not wanting to have a baby is not a good enough reason. It's like what is she gonna do? She doesn't have a job. She doesn't she's not going to school. So why would her bringing a baby into this world be anything good for her? Like so, I feel like it makes sense for her to want to and need to have this happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely hear, and like we've talked about
Yeah.
this several times before. It's definitely every situation, every case is different.
It's very different.
And J-Day, I feel
But
like you want to
when you're underage, and what I want to ask is,
He's trying
every
to think
situation is
sensitive. He's
different.
like-
But you're underage, so should you not have your parents' consent?
in this situation.
No,
though?
especially not hers.
In this
but-
situation, it's a different situation. Matter of fact, I just want to read this quote, which was very powerful. She said she can, because they wanted to use her to testify against her pimp, but needs permission to do what she wants with her body. Then she said, I screwed guys in the alleys because it was better than where I came from. Now I need permission to have an abortion from the one who made me screw guys in the alleys.
All right.
So
Which
we
was a
just found out
very-
that her mom was the one.
Yeah,
who got
her
it.
mom, I think it was her father's girlfriend.
Yeah, stepmom.
Okay.
Or, like,
Stepmom.
Or
mother
the
figure.
situation.
Yeah.
The situation.
Yeah, just the stress of being
So
at home.
I understand this situation, but this situation is different from a lot of other situations. So are you saying that Underage minor should not need permission from.
Me personally, no, because I feel like honestly, age literally is made up. Like the constructs we give, like
Age
of
is
what.
just a number.
But yes, that. But I mean, like in terms of being like a minor and not like I think. At her age, I think she is old enough.
So,
like if she was like 13 or something, like I think like a kid, that's very different. But I think if you are at the age where you are be able to have children, yes, I think you should be able to make your own choices.
Okay, so you're saying that if a 13-year-old is pregnant for a 13-year-old, you think that she should not be able to get an abortion? She should, if her parents say have the baby, she should have the baby?
No, I mean, I guess no. Honestly, I feel like
Because some girls could get
you're right.
pregnant at 11.
Right.
You are
Not to
absolutely
put you on
right.
the spot.
I guess I'm just saying. I just feel like you should have the right to make your own choices with your body.
Because what if it's a
I agree.
Especially if
situation?
you're gonna bring a baby into this world. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
What if a situation where maybe it was a teacher who raped a 13-year-old?
definitely you should be able to get rid of.
And
Like,
I think the parents should know if they were unaware
Yeah.
that that was even
Okay, I
going
see what
on.
you're
The
saying.
pregnancy would make them aware if she had to come to
Yeah.
them for permission to get the abortion. So every
I see,
situation
yeah,
is
it's
different. I don't know that you can put a blanket on
Yeah,
everything.
right?
It's
Yeah.
very difficult.
Yeah, that's difficult.
I say that it's something that definitely needs to be talked through. No matter
Yeah.
any situation, everyone needs someone to talk to, even if we say we don't.
Right.
Talking to people helps us. That's how we realize what we're doing and realize other options.
Right.
And you
So
hear
I'm glad-
yourself. It's so
yeah.
different when you hear
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
rather than the thoughts in your mind. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And since we're talking about this, Regina King,
I
her
love
character,
her. I do too. She's so
Kamara,
great.
you were just
She
pulling at my
is.
strings when
You
they were
saw
doing that ultrasound.
that look, right? That look.
That heartbeat, like,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I want one, you don't want
Right,
one.
you don't want one.
this.
Heart-wrenching.
Like,
She
I
didn't
would
even
be
wanna
so
hear the
happy
heartbeat.
to hear that heartbeat. I was like,
Heart-wrenching.
oh.
it was.
She wanted
She
that
went,
so
she went,
bad.
she went.
And I think that's why, like because the camera focused on her, and it
Yeah.
was like you could just see, like, oh, this is her killing her.
Yeah.
inside.
Can she get a win
Yeah.
at the end of the season,
I hope
please?
so.
Can she be pregnant
You know,
at
people,
the end
people
of the
on
season?
Twitter are saying that Shay's baby's gonna end up.
That's
with
what
me.
they-
I
Which
think-
y'all
Hey,
saw.
you
Which
said
y'all-
that. You said that
I'm
last
pretty sure you
week.
said that last
Yeah,
week.
they
I'm
were like,
saying-
adopt Shay in the baby.
Adopt Shay's baby.
Bro,
I'm saying.
be a big old happy family. No.
No.
You don't think so? You don't think that'll be great? I think it'd be
No,
adorable.
for her to have the baby if Shay doesn't want it, yes, but to adopt Shay.
No, that part was a joke,
Don't
but I
Shay
could
in
see it
there.
happening where she adopts Shay's baby.
Yeah,
that
no.
that seemed feasible.
I think that's I love my
Looking
older
Right.
at you.
sister.
I'm looking at you for like clues and
I would
hints.
love that.
It's feasible.
Don't get her in trouble. Stop.
It's feasible.
I mean, my older sister.
I love
is
my
a-
job. Leave me alone.
I know,
wanna
that's
be
what
back for
I
season
told you.
4.
Just blink on this side of your face away from the camera if it happens.
No, I love the idea of adoption. My older sister, all my nieces and nephews from my older sister's side, they're adopted. And I
Aw.
think
I
it's
want to
just
adopt.
beautiful because our world is just so dark right now to just take people who are already having to deal
Yeah.
with this and live in this and put them in a loving situation is just that's incredible. So that would definitely be a win.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of them. Shay could know that she's with he or she is with a good person.
Yeah.
Because Kimora, gosh, why are they doing this to us with Regina King's character this season? They're pulling on the heartstrings. They've had me cry with her every
They're going for that Emmy.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, so definitely. So let's go on to Jeanette because they didn't really do a bunch about Kimora.
No, it's just that was the biggest.
Yeah, that was
moment.
the
Yeah.
big point. So yeah, Jeanette, played by Felicity Huffman, who is killing it.
Yes.
Like she kills every role.
Kills it.
But Jeanette is still very, very concerned about what's going on. We see that she actually wrote a check that was voided. And her husband knew. Her husband, I have to call him out sitting up there while she's getting rained through his family. And she kind of looks at him like, your husband is supposed to be, I'm sorry, in my opinion, your backbone, your
Yeah.
rib, your other half.
Your
I'm sticking
ride
up for
or
you no
die.
matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
And he's sitting there.
Yeah. That conversation with the three of them.
Yes.
Yeah, because
You know, like Lorianne, I call
Yes.
her the head hesby in
Oh.
charge.
Yeah.
right.
She freaks me out because she's so quiet. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like with the way she talks to you, she looks at you. And that scene just freaked me out every time I watch it. It's so uncomfortable. And I don't know if you realize at some point the camera like moves back and you start seeing Felicity being in the background again. You know when she was trying to like
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
up
I
for
saw that. I
herself
noticed
and
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
At first it was just her.
I noticed
and then
that.
the camera goes. when
That's
you-
what they
you
were
see
meant
the
to
husband.
amazing.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
the husband
It's
like.
amazing camera work.
Yeah. Everything that they
Goosebumps
do, I
again.
love
Yeah.
the way they shoot American Crime because it has a reason. I can see
Yes.
when they did that, I saw that was how she was feeling at that
Yes.
moment. Like
She's
you're,
smaller.
you're
Like she's
shrink
going
smaller
back, she's
into
shrinking
myself,
back
smaller.
into like she's
Exactly.
fading back into the background.
Yes,
again.
yes, and he
Yeah.
did not say anything, but she was really wanted to hone in on the point that JD wasn't allowed to visit the father. JD, I guess, is trying to clean up his life. We have a lot of that going on right now, rehabilitation, which is great. People trying to do better with their lives, no matter what situation they're coming from.
Right.
So she was upset because JD wasn't allowed to see the father for obvious reasons, because now JD is trying to clean up what's going on the farm.
Right.
Which obviously would mean more money out of pocket if they did it the right way, and we know that's how they're doing it, in businesses these
cheap.
days.
Yeah.
Cut it off. And we'll get to another point of that later with the new characters being introduced too. So with JD's situation and Jeanette, do y'all have any thoughts about what's going on there?
What's Lorianne? She definitely has potential to be a monster. I think that
Potential.
Yeah, I think she already is.
there's something brooding under the surface with her, but I think Carson's afraid to speak up because I think that's his name. Jeanette's husband. He's definitely afraid to speak up because he doesn't want to get in the same boat that JD is in. He doesn't want to be kicked out of the family or lose out on any kind of family money. So he's gonna cower to Lorianne because she's definitely the alpha in that family. She's running the show.
Speaking of family, I think it was so important. It was when Jeanette was saying, "What do you mean our money? It was our money," and she goes, "No, it was the family's money."
Family's money.
And like she made it.
She said, "My money."
My money, yeah. And she made it very clear to Jeanette at that point that like, yes, you were married to him, but don't ever get confused and think that you're. And I think that it was just so. I think eye-opening for Jeanette because it was like,
right there.
I am not a part of this the way I thought I was, and I think she is gonna start to find a way to kind of break out on her own because honestly, the power that she has is still attached to her husband, and he doesn't even really have power.
Well,
her mask is broken.
But look at Carson. Do you see the parallel between him and Isaac? Because in this situation, Lorianne is Diego.
Yeah, she's bullying him.
Yeah, and then Isaac is Carson is Isaac, and he's going to probably eventually do what he needs to do to appease Lorianne, but even if it's against his own wife.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't see it watching it. I don't see it as Lorianne being as much as a bully to Carson than as Diego to Isaac. Like I feel like Carson is he playing the game. He cool with it.
Yeah, he doesn't
He can play
care.
well.
He's doing, there's something,
Yeah, okay.
they
doesn't
haven't
care.
really touched in on Carson yet, but I'm interested. And I'm not yet one yet to call Lorianne a monster, because sometimes she's looking out for the family in her mind. She's looking
a
out for the
hero in
family's
her
farm.
eyes.
She's looking out for the father or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people do things and it's unintentionally, they're unintentionally being malicious and they don't even know it.
To them,
so
they're great.
Exactly, the greater good of her family is how she
Right,
sees it.
her
Like, I have to
family's
protect our
name.
family. So you're worried about these people, or is the term that they keep throwing out there that feels like a slap in the face every time they say that. You're worried about these people, which are people. Let's take the these out of them.
Tell me about
They're human
Teo.
beings, going through what your family is actually putting them through, living in these conditions in the fire and everything. So I'm still, my eyes are on Lorianne, but let's just see.
See where it goes.
We shall see. Well, let's go ahead and get to the new characters introduced, and then we'll get to our guests. We have Claire Coates and Nicholas Coates, played by Lily Taylor.
Lily
and
Taylor's back. Timothy Hutton is back.
Okay.
I love
sorry.
them.
Sorry,
No.
sorry, we didn't mean to jump the gun.
Then we'll talk about your character.
Girl, listen, I love me some Tim Hutton.
I know, we
I
talked about
heart
this
you,
earlier.
Tim. And I love me some Lily Taylor. Let's talk about that.
Can I just say, we talked about this earlier. He is wearing this character. Tim is. I'm talking about from last season. I was like, can he shut up? And he was just getting all on my nerves. But this season, I'm like,
He's owning it.
I'm like,
Yeah, and he doesn't have to say much
He's
to
just
do
like-
it.
not
It's just
at
the look.
all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just a
I
look.
love it. I love how they do that. They just switch it up, flip it up on us. One season they give you this meek little character. The next season they coming out the.
Yeah.
He's an oak tree this season.
Yes.
He's just not
I'm
playing.
loving it. I'm loving it. And then we're introduced to your character, who's actually brought in to play the French maid, a maid who speaks French.
Oh, wait, it's an au pair.
Nanny,
It's an au pair.
nanny.
It's an au pair, technically, right?
Well, she's not an au pair, because I was an au pair.
Okay,
She's
I
a
want to talk
nanny.
about that too.
Nanny.
Is there a difference? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because an au pair is like a young girl who's brought from another country to a family. It's like a 1-year program. You know
But
what I
are
mean?
you
And it's
teaching the
usually-
son? You're teaching the sons French. That you're brought in also to kind of help him learn the language.
Gabrielle?
Gabrielle. Yeah. So she's like a nanny, and they brought her from Haiti because Lily Taylor's character speaks French and likes French.
That's
So-
cute. Let me bring a little nanny over here to teach my son some French because I speak it.
right.
That was a big. They made a point to bring that up between the husband,
Wife.
in the conversation.
He was like, no
and
one speaks French.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Was there a reason that they decided to hone in on that? Is that
the whole
something that's
French
going to come?
thing?
Yeah, the whole point of them actually bringing a nanny here that was that spoke French. You know, you don't speak a lot of English either. Your character.
No, my character doesn't speak English at all. She comes in, she just speaks French and Creole, but she just sticks with the French because Claire speaks French.
Is it like part of me feels like that because they also don't put subtitles up when it's French, and I feel like that's an intentional thing to kind of like
Somebody said that too.
make it otherwise. What?
But it was upper.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's an
somebody did
intentional
that.
way that they don't subtitle the French because it's like I feel like
Not all the time, but they do it.
did they subtitle because I feel
Well,
like
that's
it
the
was,
first episode. But
Oh,
like,
they do it
but here's
later?
the thing, because I don't know if you guys noticed for the Spanish, sometimes they have subtitles, sometimes they don't, and it's
Oh.
intentional.
Yeah.
It's almost to make the audience feel what you feel
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're in a country and you don't understand what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just have to be like.
what's happening?
Like you felt in the air, like your character
Yeah.
felt in the
I
airport.
love
Right,
that
and you
too.
have to
I loved
be
it.
all the way like with people, like what are you trying to tell me? It's because we are more than languages.
Yeah.
You know, we more than where we come from. We really how we feel as
Yeah.
human beings. This is what we are. You know what I'm saying? So like us as actors, and the camera is all up in our faces, and you really have to. It's really about the emotions more than anything else on American Crime and what you go through internally.
They're like, we want subtitles. Point set. We want to know everything that they're saying. She just made a beautiful point.
But yeah,
And also the car scene with Lily Taylor and my character, I've noticed that you don't really quite need it because Lily goes back and forth between the French and the English.
right.
So you don't really need it then.
And I
So
feel
why
like
put it there?
the way you all are emoting, it's like I can, although I don't literally know what you're saying, I feel like I can
Right,
understand.
right.
One thing I didn't understand, or I wonder what happened. It appeared that there was a fight between Lily Taylor and Tim Hutton's character, because you overheard it when you woke up, and then you go in, and it was like you were trying to just make sure she was okay, and then she just yelled at you, and I was like, well, I don't know literally what that was, and could you give us a
So
little
wait,
insight on
did
that?
they? I don't remember. They had subtitles for that or not?
They had the subtitles, but it was French. It wasn't. They didn't make it
It
English.
was French.
It was a French subtitle.
Stop! I didn't even pay attention.
Oh
to
yeah,
that.
it had it up there, but it said the French words. It didn't say.
Well,
the
that's
English.
funny because one of my friends texted me and she was like, "How dare she send you back to your room?"
Oh, is that what she said?
Oh,
But my
that's-
friend doesn't speak French.
Oh, okay, then
But
maybe
this-
maybe I missed it.
Oh, maybe she Googled it. Okay, Joanna. I know you watching, JoJo.
Well, no, but I thought that kind of tied into what you were saying. Like, even I think sometimes they take the subtitles away so I kind of felt like I knew that she said that too, and I don't speak
Right,
French.
right.
I just knew that she was upset because they had gotten in a fight, and when you came in, you kind of startled her. And a lot of people don't like outsiders to see their inner flaws,
Right.
and that family kind of I feel like would be that type of family
Right,
to
right.
not like
Yeah.
to be seem perfect all the time and jittery,
Right.
especially in front of foreign people or
Right.
people who
They
are
just
not
met.
accustomed to. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I thought
Yeah.
you were touching on earlier.
So
too.
yeah, because then when I think about that scene, it would be obvious that she's like, just get out of here.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know if she said what they were fighting about though. That's what I was wondering. That was more
Oh.
so. I assumed that whatever she said it was like very dismissive because that's the
Yeah.
way
Right,
it
that's
ended
the
up.
way
But
it
I was
felt.
wondering if like.
yeah, just stay. That's it's.
And that's the way it was meant to be.
dismissive,
Yeah,
yeah.
it felt because like I was like, ooh, this feels like she just dismissed her in some.
Yeah,
in some
yeah.
way.
Well, I kind of feel like the fight was help me if I'm wrong, was about he was kind of bringing his work woes home, which
Oh, for sure.
tends to happen in the family units.
Right.
But he had to cut corners, which we're seeing a lot of that in businesses in
Yeah.
this season. So he was at the point where he was going to have to let go of staff, which is something that happens within companies after they're having to cut ends. He was already cutting ends with the cheap furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought you're bringing in this, this French nanny now, and we're, trying to save a couple of pennies. Like, well, what are you doing? Can we do something useful? Maybe that was what the argument was about. I don't know. It was kind of like a big blow.
That makes
Don't
sense.
sit there.
I know
Don't you
you're
dare sit
smiling
over
like
there
It costs.
smiling
It
at
costs.
I mean, it's like you guys. It's John Ridley. It can't never be. It's this.
It's
that.
always.
It has so many layers and synapses or whatever you call
Yeah,
them. It starts
exactly.
from something and then it goes in all those places, and at some point you're like, oh.
That's what exactly.
So
Sometimes we don't know about it.
Right. Sometimes you don't know, but it triggers stuff in you. It makes
Yeah.
you think about certain things, and why not? Even if that's not what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Our
You know?
viewers in the live chat seem to think that maybe sex slave nanny will become a sex slave.
Why are you doing?
no.
What? Why are you smiling like that?
I mean, Tim Hutton's kind of hot. You know what I mean?
She's
You got a
I put
French
in
nanny.
mine. Ooh, girl, don't make me get a look. I'm always getting a little hot
Oh
up in here.
my gosh.
Y'all
With the
taking it
French
there?
black nanny, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But when you
With
when
the
you
outfit.
when you guys were introduced, or when you introduced yourself to Tim Hutton's, what is his name? I missed
Nicholas.
His. Nicholas.
Nicholas.
When you introduced yourself,
Nicholas.
he gave you a look, and it was hard for me to read. I was like, what is this? Is this like a? I didn't know if it was like a racial thing. I was like, is he like upset
Yeah,
that she's
that look,
black? Because
yes.
it was tense. It was a very tense moment, and I was like,
Yeah.
what is he trying
Just
to
the
convey?
one-on-one eye contact that he gave you.
Mind you, it was my first time meeting Tim
Yes.
Hutton. Ever.
Ooh.
In-
Oh,
What?
Nobody
In that
introduced
in
me.
real
There was,
life.
oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
He just appears. They
Wow.
said, they said action on rehearsal, but it's like action, and then he just like shows up.
Oh my
He
God.
was this close to me.
Oh my gosh. What
Tell
was
us
that
about
like?
that.
The
Yeah.
piercing blue eyes, and he didn't move, and I just like had to say my lines.
That had to help your
And the
character act
first
up
one,
like
the
that,
first
yeah.
take, right? The first take, like I say my lines, and he's like standing in front of me, and then he turns around and he goes, "What the f was that?" Like he just said that. I was
Wait,
like,
about
Wow.
what?
about like in the scene, you know what I mean? Like on the action on rehearsal, and it was great. It was so funny, but like the whole time I'm saying it, I'm like,
Wow.
Like, what is this moment? Oh my gosh.
and
wow.
he didn't say anything. It was just like right there, really, really close. And he's a like real actor.
Yeah.
So
Wait.
was that in the script, or was that something that just
the what, the
y'all-
F?
No, this the just the
The
looking,
tense
the
way he
tense
did it.
stare,
No, nobody told me that.
Oh no.
Wait, that wasn't in
That's
your
brilliant.
side?
I
In your,
love
in
it.
your
No,
script?
like okay, no. The side had the lines. She introduces herself to him, and he's there.
Right.
Nobody told me he was gonna be like.
So he
I know,
brought
it's so
that.
intimidating.
He brought
Yeah.
that to
'Cause the way
to
he
his
looked-
character.
Maybe
then.
this is what I love about working on this show. Oh my god, like they do things so differently because they want everything to be so authentic, the
Yes,
emotions.
I love it.
Why would you introduce me to him? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
no.
It's
yeah.
very intentional.
Oh,
It was
right.
their
I
approach.
think it was intentional. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's perfect. If it was,
Yes.
thank you.
No,
Because
yeah.
my heart was beating so fast. Like Gabrielle and me were there. Because Gabrielle was like, it's the first time I'm seeing this guy. And Mickaëlle was like, it's Tim Hutton. It's Tim Hutton. It's Tim Hutton. But it worked for her feelings.
Yeah.
It
Right.
was the perfect thing to do.
Wow.
So
That was
between
so
rehearsal
That is great.
and when you shot it, again, was there any interaction between you and Tim Hutton at all?
In between, no.
No.
To keep that authentic,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because
And you felt it.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
I felt it. I was like,
I'll
ooh, this
never
watching.
forget that ever in my life. That was amazing.
Okay, I don't want to miss a chance for our listeners to get to know you personally
Oh.
outside the character. We're gonna definitely be talking more about your character as the season goes on, and we'd love to have
Yeah.
you back. We talked
I would
about
love
that
to come back,
to
Yeah.
finish discussing more of your character. But let's talk about Mickaëlle.
Mickaëlle.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mickaëlle.
Mickaëlle.
Hey,
Girl,
Bravo.
hey. Bonjour, Michelle. Comment
Yeah, look at you.
Girl, stop. Voulez-vous coucher?
What's going on? So, okay, I first want to say this because I mean, before you came in, I was just like, I love this girl. There's so
Aw.
much about you that I love. But it is Autism Awareness Month.
That's why I'm wearing blue.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
love
I have my blue on.
Yes.
It's
You
Autism
got blue. You
Awareness
got
I got
blue.
my- I got my
Dark
blue.
Or is
I
that
got
Yeah,
my
black?
black, but
Here, my purse is blue.
I know we can just hold it.
We all got the
Yesterday
memo,
was
man.
National Autism Awareness Day, and I saw that you currently do work with
Autistic
individuals
young
Autistic
women.
young-
Yeah.
autism.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
you were a teacher, or you are a teacher?
Well, I on paper I'm a teacher. I'm a certified teacher, high school teacher. But my last time teaching was right before I booked American Crime.
Look at you, girl.
I got laid off.
Oh no.
Why
And then
would
I
you do
thought-
it though?
I thought my life was
When
over.
one door closes,
Right.
And then I booked
Why would you
American
do
Crime.
it?
Exactly. No,
And now they over there like, oh, did you see? Hey, girl.
Yeah.
I know her. She used to teach.
My students, like, they send me text messages and stuff. One of my students saw me in LA Times. She was like, Miss, look.
How, that has to feel
That's the
amazing.
best thing. Even my students
Wow.
from Boston who have babies now, they're like, Miss, you used to say that you were going to be an actress, and you're an actress now?
That's so awesome.
how does that
And-
feel?
Oh, it's the best thing out of this whole thing, because the kids, like I was one of those teachers. They were my life. So basically, they knew everything about me. I was real with them. They knew when I was depressed. They knew I was going through things, because I want them to know, like, I'm a human being
Yeah.
just like you. You're gonna go through things. I go through things, So they knew my dream was to move to California and become an actress. So now they're just like,
You did it.
she did it. So to them, I'm hoping that they're looking at this and they're like, okay, what it is that I really want to do, I can do it too. You
Yeah,
know?
I've seen someone tell me their dream and then go do it. So now I am inspired to do. That's an amazing thing as a teacher that you have gifted your students. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
And you have to have that correlation between your character and your real life. Your character coming over here trying to pursue a new life for herself and trying to reach her dreams and goals, which we haven't we yet found out why her main reason for wanting to come over here. So how does the correlation between you and your character?
It's insane because when I got the info for the role and I was just like, wait a minute, like French speaking woman comes to America to be a nanny for an American family. Like I just couldn't believe it. I even called, when I was an au pair, the family that I was an au pair for, I still know them. So I called my American dad and I was like, you're not gonna believe this. I have an audition for this. He was like, yeah, right.
Oh no.
I was like, no, I swear. So it's really, really weird. I feel like the universe just like, I don't know. It's so magical when something is supposed to. I always wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a child actor. I dreamt about this my whole life, and I was always like, "Why isn't this happening? I want to be like on TV when I'm a kid and all that stuff." And when American Crime happened the way it happens, I was like, it couldn't have happened a better way.
It was like tailor-made for you.
Yeah.
Yes, and with me having been a teacher, having been a waitress in America, having gone through everything I've gone through, and it's happening now. It's perfect. It's better than what I wanted.
Yes. I just wanted to say this. I see the live chat going back and forth between Yessie and Linda. They want to know about...
Oh, I thought they were my students.
No. So, what the question is, speaking, you're from... Where are you from?
Me, I'm from Martinique.
Okay, you're from Martinique. I guess their question is, did you pick up the language? Did you already know it? They've been
French?
having to go back and forth.
Okay. So I was born in Martinique. It's a French island. Martinique, Guadeloupe, Haiti were colonized by France. But Haiti, they got balls in Haiti. They don't play around. They get their independence, and we didn't. So my island is still a French island. I have French citizenship, and when I was about 2.5 years old, my mom moved us to the mainland. It's kind of like people in Hawaii or Jamaica going to Great Britain, and so I grew up in France. So French, I didn't learn it. No credit. It's just my language.
Yeah.
I had no effort. I just grew up speaking it. And I speak
language.
Creole too, but Martinican Creole.
I'm saying, is Creole I know it's different from French, but aren't there a lot of roots?
There's a lot of roots. There's a lot
French
of roots. But if you don't know Creole and you're a French person, like the regular epitome of what you think a French person is, like a white guy with the beret and the baguette, if I speak Creole to that person, they're not going to understand.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. It's like a dialect. Like
Yeah,
it's a version from
Yeah, they want to understand.
I would have known that you were coming in. I looked at an interview that you did with your spotlight on, and I love something that you said that really stuck out to me. Where you were talking about how where you're from, y'all see African Americans here, and y'all have this grand idea of what we are over here. And I've heard that before from another European friend of mine who said he went in for an audition and he acted like he was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because that's all he did.
It's always Fresh Prince.
To me,
Always Fresh
I love
Prince.
that.
the only when y'all think of a Black American, the only thing that y'all have are the depictions. That's why I'm I love shows like American Crime because you're depicting real people and we don't have the boom shakalaka girl, because that's not. We're so much more. You're Black and you speak French and you're not from
Right. Yeah, that's
I love
exactly. I was like when the first time I met John Ridley, he came on set and first of all this tall guy appears next to me and I go, hey, and he goes, hi, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much. I'm like, he's thanking me.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, thank you so much for doing this. And I'm like, no, thank you.
you.
Right. I'm like, what is he saying? I'm like, no, thank you. And the fact that you have a Black person speaking French, and to me that was I was flabbergasted, because people were like, oh, you're French, you're Black, Hollywood's not gonna know what to do with you.
Oh, wow.
You're not African American, you're not straight up African, you know what I mean? Like they don't know that there's Black people in France and blah blah blah.
No, that's true.
They know now.
Right,
That's true.
right,
That's true.
and that's what I'm saying. This whole thing is magical. John Ridley did that, but before John Ridley, this girl this director I worked with, she was student at, was it USC? Her name is Erica Watson, and she made this short film, and she was looking for a Black woman who spoke French. And her short film is actually on just came out on Issa Rae's channel yesterday.
Oh,
it's called
awesome.
Rubado. And she had me speak French in it, and she was telling stories of Black French people in France. So some people know a little bit, but now it's gonna be all the way out there.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. That's what I really want to see. I'm hoping we're going towards that way. More depictions of black people that are not just the typical. Like,
Yeah.
what we see.
Because we're
Not
not
only
we're
typical.
not monolithic. Like we have
Exactly.
so many
Yeah, the
different aspects.
So many
diaspora is
variations.
huge.
Yeah.
There's, black people all over the place that speak so many different languages. This girl
Yes.
I follow on Instagram, she lives in like, I don't know, the Netherlands or something. And like when I listen to her stuff, she speaks this language. I'm like, what are you saying?
Speaking
But
Dutch.
Oh,
or
I
you
love
could have been like me. You could have been
Love
me
it.
speaking
Yeah.
French, English, but you speak. We're everywhere. The boats did not just end up in America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The boats ended up all over the place.
Oh, you're so right.
I love it. I'm getting excited now about television, like especially and John.
Yeah,
Really,
right?
he's always taking it another level. I feel like each season he's doing something that's taking it the next level. The next
Yeah, because
level.
he's very
level,
observant.
yeah.
Like he consumes a lot of like information. He reads a lot. He's very observant. He listens to people. So he just
Black people,
puts-
we read.
Yeah, exactly. He just
We
puts
speak
out what he
French.
sees. You know what I mean? He like
speak
it's
country.
a reflection of real life. I like what he said. Like we had a panel and people were like, oh, like because we a lot of people talk about the set, the crew on American Crime. And they're like, oh, it's so diverse. Because you walked
Oh,
up,
wow,
you
the
walked around
crew.
that crew.
Wow.
It's gay, lesbians, black, Asian, old, young,
Even in the writers' room,
skinny,
I heard,
bigger,
yeah.
yes. And talking about the writer, Kirk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The first time I met Kirk, like, okay, the director of episode 307 showed up and he introduced himself, and he had those guys next to him. And I was like, oh, cool, he brought his boys. You know what I'm saying? Because Kirk has like the hat, he's like all the guys I know, right? I never knew. I didn't think he was the writer, which is horrible. Right?
No,
Don't
I
you
mean,
think
it's-
that? No, but
it's
you're
not
right. It's-
admitting
you
it,
don't
but
think
that's
it's
what
the
we've
The
been
writer has a
conditioned.
certain look.
I mean,
Right.
that's what we're conditioned.
It didn't like go through my mind. He's walking around the set with the director of 307. Maybe he's the freaking writer.
Exactly.
right,
I
right.
No, I
love
was like,
it.
he brought his boys. Even I thought that like.
We've been conditioned though.
No,
We've
yeah,
been
horrible.
conditioned that way.
Exactly.
And for little boys, like it's so great to see people like Kirk that reflect them, look like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be you,
can be
and be a writer on
Yes.
13 Reasons and on American Crime.
Right.
Okay.
I gotta give a hand clap for that. Well, we
Sure.
have to wrap up, but I just wanted to know, I know you're gonna come back. You have to come back. Look, she has to come back.
I want to.
I just want to know where you see your character heading and what not what you could tell
Girl.
me. As far as like
What you
just-
doing?
Well, what can we look forward to seeing you in the future?
Okay, so
New
that I won't get in
projects?
trouble. This is what I'm
Okay.
gonna say because it's already out there. She's a domestic worker. Okay, and the whole season is about exploitation. So if you look it up, there's a lot going on with domestic workers and their plight and their struggles. When I did research, I found out a lot of stuff. There's an organization there on Twitter. You can check out @domesticworkers on Twitter. And there's also the National Domestic Workers Alliance, and I'm working with them. So I'll say that.
Ooh, no,
Well,
that
I
actually
think
gave
on that
a lot
tip,
of insight.
I think a lot of domestic workers there's a form of enslavement there as well, just like this enslavement we see on the farm.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that
Yeah,
plays
they go
out.
through a lot. They go through a lot. And one of the trailers said, physical abuse. So who knows? Who
Where
knows
to
what's
go.
gonna happen? Like, yeah, there's a lot going on with domestic workers. They go through a lot. It's ridiculous.
So, what are their hopes in future, and what do we hope to see from
Mickaëlle.
Mickaëlle.
I'm
Had it the first time.
I'm so tempted to tell people that everybody calls me Miko.
Miko?
Then everybody,
Miko.
people are always like Miko.
Hey, Miko. Like a girl. Hey, Miko.
Right. Little kids love calling my name Miko.
I like
Miko.
that.
Miko,
I
it's
love
fun to
shortening
say.
people's names.
Yeah. But for me, well, I'm auditioning a lot, which is great. And so, yeah. There's
Stay tuned.
hold on.
They're gonna
Stay
see this
tuned.
girl.
There's
She's
more to
crazy
come.
talented.
Stay tuned. I'm
We know
excited.
we're gonna see
Thank you.
more of you. Can you tell everyone where to find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere. Okay?
Don't be like this one.
Instagram is easy. I'm French. I'm black. I'm a girl at the French Black Girl. Snapchat is Miko Bizet, MICKOBIZET. You can rewatch that. Twitter, Mickaëlle Bizet. My name without the X in it. But yeah, Instagram. I love Instagram.
Okay, we're all gonna go around and try to say her name. Mickaëlle it's Bizet.
No, you forgot Mickaëlle X Bizet.
Mickaëlle
Look
X
at you,
Bizet,
Joshua.
and I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can
Yes.
find me on all social media as Erica Jaye Green.
And you can find me, Joshua Johnson, on all social media at JJ the Talented, and my website, joshuajohnson.tv.
Awesome. I'm Ryann Graham. You can find me on Twitter at Ryan with 2 N's Graham. Thank you so much. It's been great. I loved having you. We loved having you.
I don't get to say I'm Mickaëlle X Bizet, and you can find me on Instagram. Oh, hashtag the French Black Girl. You can find me everywhere.
Yes,
There you go.
and hashtag us at American Crime ABTV or ABTV, hashtag it ABTV American Crime. One of those
Or make
hashtags
your own
goes
hashtag.
directly to us. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, you guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.